Okay, this is a model of the yurt-like structure that we are making. This is a scale model, and so each of these square panels is a 4 foot by 4 foot, more or less, piece all the way around, and these will be just a bit over 6 inches thick with insulation, with plywood on the inside and canvas on the inside, and heavy duty vinyl and canvas on the outside and underneath, all the way round. There's 16 of them. Some of them will be different, like this one here, possibly like that, like an opening French window kind of thing. Also at the front, I like these kind of almost like sleepy eyebrow type windows. So when they'll be like that, a bit like you'd expect on a, I think this thing, as well as other things, looks a little bit like some kind of safari hut that you'd find in Africa, but there we are. We'll have a stable door with possibly with this folding top piece, so that you can just have a quarter of your door open like that. And we will have some skylights, 2 skylights probably, so that this one here will be over the kitchen, or one of them over the kitchen. We may have other types of windows sections, so this one could be at the back. It could be kind of also a fire escape, bearing in mind the recent happenings. There we are. So the view inside is a bit like this. Oh look, Sarah's fallen over. Inside there, to scale, that's the kitchen table is like beside the door there, and there's a full-size cooker. Like, well, it was, that was actually scaled to the cooker that she had, but that doesn't exist anymore, except as scrap metal. And then that table is 1 meter across. That person is a scaled up version of Sarah, and that's a double bed, and that's a stove. So, you know, actually it doesn't look that massive like that, but it is quite big. Maybe other ways of viewing it. I quite fancy these types of windows as well, because you could have one of those just by the bed. Anyway, there you go. There's a sort of through the window view of what it might be like. Well, it'd probably be quite a lot like this, because this is a scale model. The windows can go wherever we actually decide, but they've got to be balanced. The whole thing needs to be balanced by weight, so that in future incarnations it floats. Anyway, that's a sort of probably stay in my mind type diversion. Well, everybody hopes it stays in my mind, but actually some of these things are escaping from my mind these days and wreaking havoc with the world. Well, my world, and anybody who tries to get involved in it. Right, here we go, and this is the roof. I particularly like the view from above, but I can't quite get it. So the walls all the way around will be 4 foot high, so it's not very high, so I would have to sort of pretty much stoop to get in there. But the door will be actually, well, also not quite actual normal size, because I think there is a tradition with rustic dwellings that you have to bow to go into them. So I think that although the door might actually be, say, 6 foot high, the bit of roof that comes down before it will still require you to bow down a little bit, although you'll be able to start straightening up straight away. And so in order to achieve that and the little bit of overhang, the roof flares up at that point. All these sections of the roof will be made quite a bit like the sections of floor and sections of wall, except for there will be struts of wood running in the panel. each of these separate panels will have one piece running up one side, one piece running down the other side, and then some cross beams here, here, and at the top. And then within those sections, inside, probably, well, it'll be insulation with vinyl on the outside and this canvas on the inside. Except for the sections with the skylights, there'll be 2 of those. And then round the back where the stove will go, there'll be a section for a separate section that'll be set up for a stovepipe. The stove in first incarnation is going to go opposite the door at the back, but it may later get incarnated up into the centre. At the centre, in my previous model I sort of had it more showable, but it all fell apart. It was made with masking tape and then I brought it to Wales, so it didn't last very long. This one is put together with hot glue. Right, in the centre I'm going to have a 16-sided I keep saying that, it's rubbish, but a 16-sided glued together piece of geometric wood that I'm going to make. And all of these roof pieces will locate into facets of that 16 side. And then in the centre of all that, I'm planning a central round skylight that opens. So it'll be round, set into a frame, and then it'll open and close, and then it'll be clever frame, which so that it won't quite be flat when it's closed. So hopefully all the rain that collects on it will run off through the clever frame and off onto the roof, so that when you actually open it, you don't just get a shower every time. Yeah, so that's the current plan, and that's mostly what I can tell you about it, really. It'll be, roughly speaking, the outside dimensions of these panels, because they'll be angled in wedges shapes. The outside dimension will be just under 4 foot. It'll be, actually, I could probably tell you that it'll probably be 1,150 millimeters or something like that, I expect. I can't remember. I did know. Anyway, it'll be whatever it is. They'll all add up. So these panels will be just under 4 foot wide, 16 of them. So you can probably work out from that how diametrically achieved it is. There you are. If you go to the door, it opens. You see that little opening stable door, all very nice in there. And like, you know, one of the things that Sarah wanted was a bit more light. So these skylights, that's it closed, that's it open. Quite good. There we are. There we are. I can tell you various things about it. That's a long video. Thank you. Good luck.